Hello everyone. Welcome to the kitchen in the way. Tonight we're going to make some split pea soup. It's my grandma's recipe. I'm going to use the items that she always taught me were fairly important for good split pea soup. Sometimes you have to substitute for one thing for another. We're going to have our potatoes, our carrots, our celery, the onions, bell pepper, and of course dried peas. But don't be cheap with your sausage. I happen to like to buy the Lakeview grocery mild Italian or green onion sausage. In this case, we're using the green onion. They have the best sausage anywhere. We're going to be using this Instapot that Julie purchased, and I'm telling you, the best split pea soup that I've ever made. My soup. The stuff that takes me 6 to 8 hours a full day to cook. 15 minutes in this thing. Now you have to add 15 minutes for the uptime and downtime on it. So you're talking 30 to maybe max 45 minutes. It's not your average pressure cooker, and if you haven't tried one and you want to see how it works, come on over. I'll give you a tour with it. It's fantastic, it really is. So what we're going to do first is we're going to start with the sausage, prepare it a special way. I like to take the skin off of it, so why not just buy it skinless? They don't always have it skinless. We take a plastic cutting board and we going to use that to put the sausage on so we don't get meat juice into the wooden cutting board. I love using wooden cutting boards. You'll see that I toss things around, just it's quicker, into one of the sinks, and then later I'll clean that out. So we just take a sharp knife and we just cut along one of the sides of the sausage, like so, and then we begin to peel. I like to cook it whole and then cut it after it's been cooked. Now you'll see that this sausage has been frozen, and that's because I don't live in Lakeview anymore, and I have to stop by and pick up my sausage when I'm there. Usually I'm there on Mondays, and then sometimes I forget. So I buy it and I put it in the freezer. You see, again, we're keeping all of the meat juices and contaminants, if you will, off of the wooden cutting block, which we will be using for our vegetables. Didn't do too well on this one. Oh well. It is much easier though when it's frozen to take off the skins. With all the skins off, we're going to move over to the stove. Okay, so we're at the stove now, and I would like to put a little butter in the pan too, but I don't, because Julie doesn't like to have the use of butter right now. So we put the avocado oil in there, and we'll place our sausage in the pan. You can do this with 2 or 3 pieces of sausage, depending on how much meat you actually want in your pan, and we'll watch that. Something I'll point out is that whenever I handle any sort of meat, chicken, anything raw like this, wash your hands in between when you're going to go back to the vegetables. It really does help keep everyone healthy. Now what we're going to do is make sure we have these things moving around evenly in the pan, and make certain, like I said, that we don't make it too brown. It's just going to be a very light brown, but it will be cooked all the way through. It's a piece that you will be able to eat. I like to have it that way prior to putting it in. A lot of people will use ham bone, ham, various other items to put in split pea. I like my sausages. It's a different taste, and generally speaking, when someone tastes it, they say, hey, not bad, you know, or most of the time very good. But hey, I don't want to brag. While your sausage is cooking on the clean side of the sink, you take your potatoes and you don't peel them. They do say, whoever they are, they say that the skin has a lot of vitamins and minerals or whatever in them, so I don't peel them. I just take a little bit off, make sure I got the dirt off, clean them a little bit, and when you see how they taste, oh wow. This part of the ingredients is pretty much the only part that does not go into my food processor. I've always liked to cut down, not just chop, but really mince almost all of my ingredients. It blends into soup much better. Next, I have these delicious carrots here. Sweet carrot. There you go. We've already taken care of the celery. Julie had cut up some for us to munch on. Now, the bell pepper. Of course, you take off the top and you clean out the seeds. You can use a whole bell pepper or you can use half a bell pepper. Whichever. Just make sure you get it nice and clean. I usually use the whole bell pepper because I wind up eating part of it as I'm cutting it. Like now. So, excuse the bell pepper in my mouth. Now we have our cleaned vegetables. Now we have to prepare the onions. With the onions, I cut off both sides and just take off the outer layer of skin, like so. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and cut the onions, and we're not really going to dice them here on the block. I probably should have kept my plastic on here because onion flavor can also get into the wood. This will save a lot of chopping of all the ingredients. Got this little tiny, what I call it, a food processor thing, and you take it and you put your onions in here, and as many as you think you can fit without jamming it too badly. Put this on, and then we're going to process it. Now, like I said, split pea soup. I want everything, all the ingredients, to melt in here, in my soup. Excuse me if I'm hunched over a little bit. I'm still having back problems. Okay, so that's the first set. Take that out of here and put that on a plate, and then get the rest that's left over. Next, we're going to grab the carrots. We cut off, of course, the head and the tail, as I call it. Throw that into the sink. And there's various ways that you can cut the carrots to put them into the processor. I think, if I'm not mistaken, you can put a carrot and a half in this particular food processor. These are very sweet carrots. And it might take all three of them, I'm not sure yet. But you don't want to put too many because then you turn it into cream as you're trying to chop them. Oh, those are good carrots. Take those carrots out. Put the blade back in. Take all the pieces here. Put them into the little processor. And voila. Now, this normally takes me, to do it this way, 15-20 minutes. Doing on camera, oh look, a big chunk just for me. Doing on camera takes a little bit longer. Now the celery, I really like to chop up because I don't know if you've ever used celery seasoning before, but I mean, it's like celery seeds, and you can practically turn this into celery seed. I don't like the celery strands being in my soup. You know what I'm talking about, the little, it's like a hair or something. Well, I don't like that. And oops, almost forgot. Put the blade back in first. Hey, I'm learning. Now, at this point, if you're going to add salt and pepper, which you should, I'm going to tell you a little secret I have. I like to put it on big grind for the pepper. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And just a little bit of salt right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm putting it in with the last ingredient that I chop up because it mixes it with it rather than being concerned about it mixing in the actual cooking. You're going to use as much garlic as you want. I must say about a clove or half a clove, but that's all to taste, guys, you know? And then chop up that celery really fine. And the aroma comes out. And the way you hear it like it is, that means it's done. You've gotten it down to practically nothing here too. Bell pepper normally cooks down very well on its own. Potatoes don't, and I don't want it to. I want the potatoes to be in there. I want a little bit of a lump to give the soup a substance. And you know why I use the potatoes? Gives it body. And majority of the people like potatoes. So, yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and do this because I don't really feel like chopping these up anyway tonight. My back is starting to hurt me. But now the fun part, the potatoes. So, I cut my potatoes in half, and then quarters, and then eighths, along with the finger. We just see red stuff, that means you did something wrong. And you can see where if you did all this, all of it manually like this, you would it would take you longer. And that's why I like using the blender. Generally, this is where I take a break. I'm gonna get myself a beer. I'll be right back. Okay, I've got my beer. It barks. I happen to care for this one much. It's a good age. Okay, how do you like that? Huh? Look at that. Good potatoes. So, we have all of our ingredients. Very colorful. Sitting right here on our ingredient table. And we're going to take a walk over to check out the sauce. Okay, well, it's time for me to call my assistant in because she's the one who really knows how to control the Instapot. And I believe I've got just about everything prepared. Of all the times I've made split pea soup, I've never found any stones in the peas. But the instruction says rinse and look for stones, small pebbles. So I do it every time. And I do a fairly good job of it. So the way I usually accomplish this is kind of simple. I just take a fork and cut small pieces. And this will indeed also fall apart. You'll still have some chunks of meat, but it'll fall apart in the Instapot. Now, at this point, I have to confess, again, this is my recipe in a sense of the ingredients, but it's Julie's doing that with the pot that has made it digital instead of analog cooking. Her job was to prove to me, and she did it without any doubt, to prove to me that cooking with an Instapot was a better means of cooking. Okay, so what we have here now is we're going to saute for approximately 10 minutes the ingredients I just prepared. We're going to take a little bit of the burn off from the sausage, put it in the pan so the pan is greased a little bit. Then we take, would you mind handing me my ingredients? We take all the various ingredients and put them into the pan. The secret is trying to make sure you're using the proper size pan. By the time you get everything in here, you're hoping that it all fits. So a lot of this, as you can see, a lot of this has its own natural juices. And now, the potatoes I cut, we're going to put into its own plate. And we're going to put the potatoes in the microwave. This is how we time the cooking, or the sauteing of this, because the potatoes will go in here in the microwave for approximately 6 minutes. 2 minutes, 2 minutes, and 2 minutes. You mix it each time. After 6 minutes total time in the microwave, we put the potatoes in here with the other ingredients. Now I've got this mixed up pretty well, and I put the sausage in. So what is it Julie's doing over here? What is it you, come over here, what are you doing over here?
What am I doing? I've been called into action to help Michael with this video. I'm just making a chicken stock to put in the split peas. This is what I use to make chicken stock. I just use this Better Than Bouillon. It's an organic reduced sodium mix that I get like 6 cups of water and mix 6 teaspoons of this into the water to create the broth.
We take some of our additional little special spices. Everybody's got their own, and we add that to the potatoes. Now we add that little bit of extra salt there. We put it back in here again, 2 minutes. So now we go on and now we mix. Julie's saying, wait a minute, Mike, you cheated. You didn't tell them some of the other spices you're calling your secret spices, and that's not fair. So let me go ahead and tell you while I'm sauteing this. And like I said, this is approximately 5 to 6 minutes of sauteing so that the onions and everything blend together in my pan. I put in some Simply Asian, some of Julie's best, it's bagel sesame, and a little salt and pepper. And that was it. I don't think I need any more garlic.
You also put some green kittens there.
Oh, I sure did. Another little secret. I put in some basil.
No parsley.
Oh, wait a minute. Julie says let's put some parsley. So, we'll put some parsley. So, how much of that? Well, that's just to taste. If you're not certain the first time you make it, a teaspoon of each should do it. Don't put too much salt. Julie hates to have too much salt. We mix up potatoes one last time, 2 more minutes. And then we're gonna be ready. Oh. Remember last time we almost forgot to add the peas. Remember that? The split peas. I can't believe that. We had everything in there, everything's looking great. We forgot to add the split peas. But we remembered on time. Okay, so you let me know what you need me to do.
Okay, so after Michael sauteed everything, actually you can saute in the Instant Pot, but Michael likes to do it on the stove. But we're gonna add all the ingredients now into the Instant Pot.
And you can look over that way too. Put the potatoes in there. And we have...
I'm gonna put the 1 pound of the split peas.
Okay, and then we're going to put the remaining ingredients. It's so difficult for me to understand and to believe that this is going to turn out to be split pea soup. But as I have said before, it's the most delicious split pea soup I've ever tasted. And my grandma and my mom are both gone now, so they, I don't think they'll be too hurt. And then what you gonna do now, Jill?
Then we're gonna pour the 6 cups of the chicken broth into the Instant Pot.
Now, is the Instant Pot turned on now?
No, we haven't turned it on yet.
We have to talk nice to it. Turn it on, okay. I'm gonna stir all the ingredients in here. Yeah. So, and this is what it looks like right now in the Instant Pot. Thank you, Slee.
Okay, so now we're gonna put the Instant Pot top on and just put it in place. And after closing it, we're gonna press our pressure cook button and
This is the part that drives me crazy.
we're gonna set it for 15 minutes. And
Step back just a bit.
and basically that's it. It will automatically start on its own. And it's going to take a few minutes to get up to the pressure setting before it starts counting down. So we're going to, actually it's going to cook for 15 minutes, and then when it's finished it's going to automatically start depressurizing. And we're going to let that do that for 15 minutes also.
So you're going to tell me that something that took me 6 to 8 hours to prepare is going to come out in 15 minutes.
In 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Come over here and look at the camera.
I'm being forced to do this interview.
30 minutes, something that normally takes 6 to 8 hours. And anybody out there who makes red beans and rice or split pea soup knows that it takes all day. We'll see.
So, right, after the 15 downtime, we're going to just go ahead and release the rest of the...
Hide my camera. Move over this way. Yeah.
release the rest of the steam before we open it.
So why do we do that?
Just because you have to allow the steam to come out before you open it all the way. It's just about finished venting, and then as soon as the steam is all gone, we're going to open it up. Yeah, up.
Ooh, did you see that little button go down on there?
Yeah, up.
Ooh, did you see that little button go down on there?
Okay, so that just means we can open it up now.
Supposedly it's safe to open now. Boom.
And there it is.
And I'm telling you, if you put a little bit in a bowl and taste it, and we will in a few minutes when it cools off a little bit after we put it in a bowl, it's just delicious split pea soup. That's all there is to it.
Nice and thick.
Here's the really great taste test. You want to give me a little bit in here?
Yeah, let's see.
Just a little bit. Ooh. Looks pretty good. My back is hurting me. Let's see what happens here. Now you see, there's a lump in here. That's my potato I like to have. It's still hot. Potato melts in your mouth. Some good split pea soup, I'll tell you that. Thank you, sweetie.
Thank
Good
you.
stuff. So, we'll have a cooking party. Come on over. Bring your ingredients. We'll cut it up. We'll have a good time.
There you go.
Make this. Thank you.